Welcome to This Week in Science. I'm your host, Brian Jester, and I'm here to share some of this week's most compelling scientific headlines. So first, a report that certainly raises eyebrows in the health data world from PsyPost. Secret changes to major U.S. health datasets raise alarms. A new study reports that more than 100 United States government health datasets were altered this spring without any public notice. It does seem unusual that previously published datasets have been modified. Next, some truly reassuring news for parents and the public health alike from Stat News. Studying 1.2 million children over a 24-year period, researchers found no evidence that exposure to aluminum in vaccines led to a statistically significant increase in a child's risk of developing any of a wide variety of conditions that can be diagnosed in childhood, including asthma and autism. I think everyone has heard of the concerns about cooking with aluminum pans and aluminum anti-perspirants, so this indeed does sound like some good news. So turning to economics, a look behind the curtain of extreme wealth from Dartmouth University. Billionaires, oligarchs, and other members of the uber-rich, known as elites, are notorious for use of offshore financial systems to conceal their assets and mask their identities. A new study from 65 countries revealed 3 distinct patterns and how they do this. This sounds like quite an expose into the world of the ultra-rich and famous. Next, a curious case of fungal escapism from The Conversation. The golden oyster mushroom have escaped from hobby mushroom growing kits into the wild in 25 U.S. states and 1 Canadian province. A study in Wisconsin finds they are displacing native fungi, as trees with GOM, or golden oyster mushroom, house fewer fungi as compared to trees without GOM. I can imagine a user of one of those mushroom kits maybe after use just tossing the dirt into the garden, and then the next season the spores have made it out into the woods and are becoming an invasive species. For those navigating the complexities of relationships, here's some psychological wisdom from PsyPost. People who pursue romantic relationships because they genuinely want connection and intimacy, and not because of pressure or insecurity, are more likely to end up in a relationship. This does sound a little bit like common sense, but in finding a mate based on connection and intimacy is better for long-term outcomes rather than finding a partner based on pressure or insecurity. And finally, a dietary update that might just scramble some old beliefs from the University of South Australia. Long blamed for high cholesterol, eggs have been beaten up for their assumed role in cardiovascular disease. A new study found that eating 2 eggs a day as part of a high cholesterol but low saturated fat diet can actually reduce LDL cholesterol levels and lower the risk of heart disease. Well, that's exciting news for the weekend egg eaters like me, so maybe I should start eating eggs more during the week. Well, that's our roundup of science news for the week. Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay curious.